Something has to give as the Devils have been shut out now 2 consecutive home games. They were booed off the ice by their home fans. This is brutal to watch as the Devils' playoff hopes, dreams, and seeds deteriorate by the day. The Devils are in crisis mode. The Devils have a long way to go in the season. The Devils have to change something. Something has to change. And I'm not just talking about putting Angus Crookshank in the lineup. Something has to change. I don't know if they have to sage the locker room. I don't know if they need to go on a voodoo retreat. I don't know if they have to go to church together. I'm not here to argue what specifically they should do. I'm here to tell you they have to do something. Because what is happening right now is completely unacceptable from the New Jersey Devils. A team that, mind you, a week ago, less than a week ago, was the top team in the Eastern Conference. They currently, I believe, find themselves outside of a playoff spot and on the second leg of a back-to-back going to Boston after going the last 6 periods without a goal. Okay, and it might even be a little bit longer. I forget when they scored that third goal against Columbus. Okay, so the Devils, they're killing me, man. Like, I was there last night. I was in the building. I was trying to start the fire Tom Chance because you're watching this team and they're slow and they're just not moving well. They have this whole curse going on. I mean, look at this. They're booed off home ice. They lose 4 in a row. Wildly inconsistent play without Jack Hughes. I want to say they're averaging like 1.5 goals a game. Disgusting without Jack Hughes, and that might be over the course of the last 2 seasons or whatever. Or it could be all the time that he's missed to begin with. And I don't know. I hope everybody's keeping him away from glass and all that good stuff. But the curse that I really want to talk about is this. They get shut out by Akira Schmid last night. And Schmid will be remembered in Devils lore for his playoff series against the Rangers, including the shutout that he had in Game 3 of that series, which completely flipped the series on its head. But look at this. Mackenzie Blackwood, Scott Wedgwood, and Akira Schmid are combined 8-0 versus New Jersey since when they play New Jersey when they come back. It's remarkable. It is remarkable. When they face their former team, they become Vezina Trophy winners. It is insane. It boggles my mind. That's why I brought up the sage and rituals and whatever the Devils have to do to get that out of the locker room. This I just found hilarious. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Look at this picture. This goes to something that I was talking about in my last video about Tom's got to go. Tom's got to do something. Okay. And I read you that quote that he had at the end of last season where he was like, I talk to my analytics guys all the time. Like, what is depth scoring? He's like, I bang my head against the wall trying to figure out what depth scoring is. Well, this perfectly encapsulates basically what's going on inside his brain. Great Photoshop edit, by the way. So I just found this to be remarkably funny. So I wanted to share that with you all. But back to the goaltenders just owning the Devils. Okay, Christy Flannery, who does a great job covering the team. Okay, recommend her work. I've gotten to meet her a couple times. She's awesome, very nice. She caught up with Akira Schmid after the game. And she told him that basically, Blackwood, Wedgwood, and Schmid now 8 wins versus New Jersey and multiple shutouts. And he said it's like a curse. So, he pretty much nailed it. I mean, it's a curse. I don't know. If the Devils see an opposing goaltender and it's a guy who used to play for them, we can just pack it in, right? I mean, at this point, I feel like we can just pack it in and set sails on to the next game. The Devils have to move forward with the next game because the next game is tonight. It's coming up in a few hours. The Devils have to rebound. Their playoff positioning is going from here to now they're here to here to here to here. Okay? As I mentioned, less than a week ago, they were at the top of the Eastern Conference. They now have lost all 4 games of their 4-game homestand after previously being unbeaten in regulation at home. The Flyers came in and kicked their teeth in last weekend. Okay? They started bullying Columbus, and then the whole second period happened, flipped that entire game. They were lifeless. They weren't lifeless for the whole game Wednesday, but They dominated the second period up until about midway through, maybe 2/3 of the way through. They were dominating that period, and then all of a sudden, and I have to say, and even last night, they let up the one goal at the end of the first period with 12.7 seconds left, and they can't get it back. Timo scores the goal in the first period, and all of a sudden it's called offsides. It's a whole separate video. I have a big problem with the offsides reviews that we're doing in hockey. It's kind of funky. It's kind of weird, but I'm not going to dive fully into that here. But so you have that, and then the Devils just stop putting the puck on the net. So you watch Timo Meier shoot the puck basically from, if the game's in Newark, he basically shot it from Bayonne, okay, and it went in. And then all of a sudden, the rest of the period, the Devils have, I want to say they had 5 shots in the first period. If that, like, the Devils just put the puck on the net. And I was screaming it until my vocal cords couldn't go anymore. Just put the puck on the net. You cannot score a goal without shooting it towards the goal. And it's got to be on goal. So the Devils just frustrating week for them, okay? And my biggest problem for them, and again, that game was 1-0 up until like 5 minutes left, and the Devils took 2 penalties, and that's when it became 3-0 Vegas. My problem with New Jersey is when they seem to get in these funks, like they did against Dallas, right? They're dominating the game. Or the period, I should say. They're dominating the period. They're playing really well. This, that, and the other thing. And then all of a sudden, it's one goal. And the great teams are able to take that one goal and flush it, get the goal back, and now we're even. The Devils allow a goal, and then it becomes 2 goals. And then it becomes a weak third goal. The other night against Columbus scores in the third period to take a 3-2 lead. Okay? Stinks, but it is what it is. Devils got a lot of time left. How did Columbus score their next goal? Off a stupid puck handling mistake by the Devils goaltender, Jake Allen. Like, this is what I'm talking about. For some reason, every other team, when the ball starts rolling down the hill, they're able to stop it right here. Right here. And then it maybe slides a little bit, but not far. The Devils, the ball comes down, they step in front of the ball, and they get toppled. And they're down, they're then down 3 goals. You blink and they're down 3. And then it's over, right? And then, they fought and this, that, and the other thing. Right now, the effort that we're getting from New Jersey is putrid. Last night, I couldn't even do a postgame last night. This is why I have to do it today, because I couldn't control myself. Watching that game, watching the Devils get a power play down 1-0 with 7.5 minutes left, and watching their power play not even be able to get into the offensive zone. Forget scoring, right? It's all, depending on how the goaltender, redirections, all that stuff. The Devils couldn't get into the zone for a solid 45 seconds as an NHL team. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. And I'm sorry. I know Jack Hughes is a superstar player. That is unacceptable without him. I don't care how good he is. That is unacceptable. They are playing uninspired, uninterested hockey. And at times, and in the NHL, that's going to kill you every single time. You cannot play large stretches of games uninspired and uninterested. You will lose all the time. And the Devils are seeing it right now. A putrid homestand. Now they go up to Boston. Goose, maybe that's a great thing. And I'll say this. Sometimes teams, it's like a relief when they get away from home. I know fans hate hearing that. I know. It's like, it's like I said a curse word. But it's true, right? All the pressure at home, should win your home games, all this, that, and everything. Sometimes it's better for teams to get out on the road. That is about as confident as I could possibly be for the Devils going into today's matchup. Because just looking at their road ahead, by the way, here's this stat. First time shutout in consecutive home games since December 23rd and December 26th of 2008. You know what I was doing in 2008? I was in 4th grade in 2008, okay? So I'm not a particularly old guy, but I was in 4th grade the last time the Devils were shut out, consecutive home games. It's unbelievable. And you know what? Listen, Jacob Markstrom, there were some comments last night talking a lot about his game and stuff like that. And certainly he struggled, okay? Obviously, in my opinion, he was better last night than he has been, but it still wasn't good enough. Now, what would have been good enough from Markstrom if the team didn't score any goals? Like, what possibly could have been a good performance if the team scored nothing? Okay, like I said, they scored the 1 goal with 12 seconds left. I'm sure he wants that goal back, of course. But the other 2 were on power plays with 5 minutes left in the game. And he had to watch what his power play was doing for the effectiveness of that moment. So, embarrassing. Here's the Devils' last 10 games in Boston, by the way. As you can see, they have, since March 30th of 2021, the Devils are 1 and I believe that's 6 in Boston, okay? And in their last 10, they are 4 and 6. So not terribly confident. And when you look at how much Boston has scored: 4 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals, 8 goals, 6 goals, 5 goals, 5 goals. They put up anywhere close to that. Devils can't win. Devils can't score. That's the reality of the situation. Okay, and Jake Allen in his career 6-6-1 record against the Bruins. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to pump confidence into you. Okay, I want you to use the comment section as our positivity hub. See if we can generate some positivity in there. But right now, this team is failing in all categories, except right now the coach. Right, if his message ends up getting lost and all that stuff, that's a different story for down the line. But right now, the players got to step up, and this GM has got to figure something out. And for the love of everybody involved, do not wait for the trade deadline. I do not care about the trade deadline because it's way too far away. The Devils need to make changes now, and they need to get on it now. And they need to get on. Tom Fitzgerald needs to do it now. Now, not tomorrow, not yesterday. Now, right now. I appreciate everybody for listening, for watching, letting me just get some emotions out. I wanted to chat with everybody today in the Devil's Digest community. I appreciate you guys for listening, for watching. We really do appreciate you, okay? And we thank you for being a part of this community. And I appreciate you for giving me the platform to just come on here. And today was just, a word salad. Like, it was just, I just had to get what was in here out to you guys. And I want to know what you think. So leave us a comment and just help, continue to be a subscriber to the channel. Okay. Goals 1,000. We're getting there closer and closer and closer. So I appreciate you all, and go Devs. Okay. Always rooting for the Devs. Even though I think the GM is a complete utter failure right now. I still say go Devs, always rooting for the Devs, and let's get a point on the road. How about that? Would we settle for that? Leave us a comment. Would you settle for a point tonight? I certainly would. It's something. We'll see. Everybody have a great day, okay? And we'll catch you next time on Devil's Digest.